This cart here was doing something really different and interesting that I haven't seen before, but it doesn't surprise me because it's an EZGO. Well, any cart is susceptible to this, but this is the first time I've seen this, so let's check it out. What's up, guys? Here we have a 2010 EZGO RXV gas. An interesting find with the problem that it was having. Okay, so their description was that this cart, they could drive it around between 30 to 60 minutes, anywhere in between there, and it would drive perfectly fine. Once they stopped and tried to restart, the cart would not crank over. I basically ran the cart in 10-minute intervals in neutral. I would run the cart for 10 minutes, full wide open throttle, and then I would stop for 30 seconds, and then I would restart the test again and go for another 10 minutes. And I would do that until I could reproduce the issue. So after about 40 minutes, the cart finally reproduced that issue. It came down to a bad solenoid. I basically took my voltmeter and checked across both large terminals and small terminals of the solenoid, and that showed and proved that the solenoid was in fact bad. So we're gonna go ahead on this cart here. We're gonna actually just change out that solenoid. So this will be a routine OEM, hopefully, change out. Hopefully that solenoid hasn't already been changed out to an aftermarket one. We'll put an OEM EZGO solenoid made by White Rogers in this cart, which has to be spliced in. You can't just unscrew terminals or unplug terminals and plug it in and be done. You have to go through and wire it in, which is really stupid, but whatever. EZGO does stupid things all the time, so it's no surprise to me. All right, so let's get the seat off. We'll get the cart jacked up in the air so it's nice and level and easier to work on, and we'll get that solenoid changed out. All right, so you can see that I've already removed the cover, obviously because I had to get in here to test our terminals. This looks to be OEM. Let's get the new OEM one. What did I do with it? I put it somewhere and I don't remember where I put it now. Here's the part number, right there. 608898. EZGO part number. And this thing comes with EZGO, stop wasting plastic. There's instructions, which they're pretty straightforward. One bag, this giant bag for those two little wire butt connectors, and another bag that the solenoid was in. 3 big plastic bags. You know, you could be a little bit more environmentally friendly. All right, so the solenoid is pretty much identical to the one that's in there, so that's good. At least the footprint is the same. Aftermarket ones are hard to put in here. I've done a couple of these already. The previous ones that I've done were aftermarket solenoids, but the posts, when mounted in the cart, will sit like this. And the way that cover is designed is you can't get the terminals to run out the side of the cart like it's supposed to. I can't tell that I'm not looking at the camera here. So when you mount the terminals, the battery cable and the starter generator cable, they don't sit and point out that way like they're supposed to. So putting that cover on is kind of garbage. And also they give you a lot of wire, but the thing is, why not just put terminals here that you can have little tabs on and plug the solenoid in, or screw terminals like the original ones had? This is such a terrible design. So again, another thing that EZGO designs and has White Rogers spec out, or maybe I'm wrong on that, but that is just such a stupid design. And I'm not ragging on EZGO because I don't like them. I'm ragging on them because that's really stupid and wasteful to do this, all this plastic. And EZGO's not the only one that's guilty of that either. All right, so instead of using the butt connectors, we're gonna go ahead and use spade terminals, male and female, but they're also insulated, which is really nice. All right, so I know that we need a T27 Torx bit. Let's, I'll just take this one out. See if we can get it out first. There we go. Is that coming out? That's coming out. Alrighty, all right, so there's the battery positive. Got a light circuit here. Okay. Put that aside. This way we don't accidentally short something out. I am going to need a 1/2 inch to remove. I'm going to crack these loose while we're here. It's such a weird angle, guys. I know it's probably hard to see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. So we'll clean these up because they are a little dirty before we put the new hoodjamajigger back in. All right, so this is constant power that feeds the cart circuit on the battery side. The solenoid, or the starter generator side, will have the positive to the voltage regulator and positive over to the starter generator itself. There's some ground connections that are installed in place down here on the actual mounting plate. I think this has a 10mm underneath here. I'm pretty certain. Let's see. See if I can get in here with that. There we go. Okay, so there's a 10mm nut on the bottom, and it's a T27 Torx bit on top. And these two little wires here, which are both black, one from the voltage regulator and the other one from the cart harness, go to the negative terminal of that, or the terminal on this solenoid here, or the plate rather. All right, let's get in here. Okay. Another bolt, T27 Torx. All right, and that removes the solenoid. So I'm going to leave the solenoid connected to the cart for the time being because I want to actually install the new one first and get it mounted and then go from there. I want to get these terminal nuts off. That there. Just wipe off the dirt. This way we're not actually hooking anything up yet. I would like to clean these up just a little. I'm actually going to put my safety goggles on. Heater's coming on. That'll be running a little bit today. It's a little cooler. And this is more or less because we're here, because we can. Might as well, you know? You only really need to worry about where the connections are made. You don't have to clean the entire thing off. Unless it's got corrosion, then I would just clean the whole thing off. All right, so there's that. We're going to get the negative terminal started. Did I do that one? Nope, I missed it. Let's do that one first. Let's clean them all because I need the battery for the impact. Since my other battery, for some reason, is not working when it's fully inserted, I can't run both tools at the same time, which is rather annoying. And this is more of a because you're in here kind of thing. So you might as well just clean them up while you got them, you know what I mean? It will help with connectivity. It's just good practice to clean your battery. Anytime you take a battery cable off or any type of electrical connection and you have the opportunity to clean it, you should. Because it's already apart, so I mean, why not? Okay. That's all that. Now we need this. We're going to take our negative from here and our negative from here, which is our voltage regulator and the cart. And we'll hook them up down here. And yeah, you could probably do this without come on. Why is that not grabbing? I gotta get my big head in the way, sorry. There we go. Okay, so we just got it somewhat tight. It's not gahunga tight. Enough where we can move it around still. We'll drop the second one in. And these are shouldered nuts, so they will fit in a ratchet boxed end very nicely. So that way you can hold them without holding them. Okay, that one's in all the way. That one's in all the way. All right, so that's good for that. The solenoid's installed. All right, let's hook up our I cleaned that, right? Yeah, okay. Voltage regulator goes to starter generator side. And this is basically the charging regulator. It regulates the voltage and charges the battery coming off the starter generator, off the generator side. Okay, and then we have our battery positive. Let me tighten that inside one up first because it's, whoa, a lot easier to get to it now without having the other battery terminal in the way, cable. Okay, that's tight. That's good there. Now we'll get the, what are we doing? We'll get the new, not new, the newly cleaned, I should say, connectors here. Okay, so this is the constant power from the battery to the cart. Alright, we'll tighten that up, that's good. Okay. One thing I've noticed in the past with these stupid things is that these clamps that hold this onto this bracket do move a bit when you tighten these up. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you just got to give them a little squeeze just to make sure that they're in place and don't go anywhere. Okay, so now that we have the new solenoid installed, it's just not electrically, it's not wired up electrically yet, so I'm going to take this and this. I'm just going to put the old hardware on the old solenoid before I cut it out. And now again, I don't have the battery terminal or battery cable connected to the battery yet, so that's still off. Just keep that in mind, because I'm just going to cut this right off at the solenoid here. Right there, 1 and 2. Okay, so there's the old solenoid. Again, I think this is a terrible design. We'll throw that in the glove box for the customer so they have it. Now I'm going to take my, just going to trim these ends up a little bit here so they look a little neater. I'm going to strip this back here and here. Now the feed circuit, I like to give the positive the female terminal, kind of similar to a receptacle and a plug. You know, usually the receptacle has the female terminals on a household outlet or receptacle. It's not really an outlet. And then the male one will go to the negative side of the feed circuit. Okay. And then on the solenoid itself, we're going to cut these wires back to here, like so. We're going to also strip the positive. Come on, get my little fingers in there. There's that one. Not really little, more like fat fingers. Come on. And that one. And then just the opposite as the feed circuit, we're going to do the receiving side. The negative terminal will get the female connector. Okay. And then I'll crimp it down. And then the positive will get the male connector. Just like so. Okay. The male terminals deform slightly when you crimp them down, but no big deal. You just stick your thumbnail in there and squash it over. So now this way, this will ensure that when the solenoid fails again, it's just a matter of unplugging the old one, terminating the new wires on the new solenoid, and then just plugging them back in, instead of having to constantly keep cutting the wires back and adding butt connectors, because that's just sloppy and stupid. All right, so we're going to go positive to positive. And you can't confuse polarity when they're done like this as well. That's the reason why I do this. Negative to negative. Okay, so now we will connect up our cart's electrical back the way it was. My 7/16 box end here, and we'll tighten this up. We'll just ensure that the lights work as they did before. Okay, that's tight. Let's double check our lights since they're already there. Those are a simple light kit. There's just a single tail light and a aftermarket headlights. Okay, so that's good. Now I have to find my keys so we can turn the cart on and ensure that it works. Let me be right back. Everything works like it's supposed to. All right. Throw this stuff all back together. Tuck all these wires up in here and slide this cover back on and reinstall this little Christmas tree retainer pin. Okay, push that back down. See, now all the wires are nice and neat still. There's no slop to it. It's, I mean, they're a little messy, but they're not like crazy messy. It's tolerable, I guess, for me anyway. All right, so that's going to basically be it for this one, guys. I'm going to go through that procedure again and make sure that we can't reproduce the same issue as before with the cart shutting down. And then if everything checks out after 40 minutes, we're going to do it 4 times, 10 minutes run, 30 seconds rest in between. And then if that's it, that's it. We'll call it good. And then we'll ship this one down the road. So I'm not going to go through that test procedure with you guys because it's a long, boring, rock on the pedal kind of test that we don't have to really film. But yeah, so if there's another problem or the problem still exists, we'll turn the camera back on and go from there. But if not, we're going to call this one and just say that this one's done. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified anytime I upload videos to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, whatever you want to call them. Leave them down in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video.